couldn't see nothing. It was dark now.
Yeah.
This time, because this started at 6, and now it's dark now. I couldn't see where I was going or nothing. So it just disappeared. And I started floating down, and man, I didn't have nothing to swim. I couldn't swim or nothing. No swim. Where was there to swim? There's no land or nothing. So I just put my hands out there like this, just enough to keep my head above the water. And that started.
How long did that typhoon go on? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is when it hit, it got me.
Yeah, right.
The first 2 waves got me, and then I don't know how long it lasted. But later on, I heard some pictures of a cruiser getting on top of one of those waves, and the bow got knocked completely off. And I can't imagine, I said, that's not true. Can't take metal, that's that much metal, and break it off. But they said they held that ship into the place and got a new bow on it.
Nope. So then you were, how long were you at sea? I mean, just kind of on your own there, without a ship?
I floated in that water for 3 days and 4 nights.
I guess there weren't any sharks.
Yeah.
Or at least none of them found you, huh?
Huh?
There weren't sharks around or anything?
I got one of them. There he is right there. I grabbed him and punched his eyes out. Got rid of him. I don't know how big he was, but his mouth was only about that big.
Okay, that's big enough. That would have caused a problem. So then you told me one time that you ate some little fish.
Yeah, I did. See, this first day, everything was all right. Nothing's happening, except to that shark.
Okay.
And nothing's happening, so I didn't have nothing except just wiping that blood off every once in a while. And finally, I spent the night, and I said, I don't know how this happened, but I don't know what I did all night. I don't know whether I swam or whether I did. I woke up in the morning. I don't know how it happened. I can't tell you nothing. And I think God just took care of me. And that's the only thing, and I kept saying, God, help me, help me. But anyhow, I was all right. The next day, the sun came out about over 100 degrees, I guess, I don't know. But anyhow, blisters started popping out all over my arms and all over my neck, my nose, my ears, but not my body, because my body's under the water.
Underwater, right.
Just my neck back here. And I said, that hurts. And just nothing happened. So the next morning, I started out again and start getting hot. I looked up there and I says, God, help me, please help me. I know I'm thirsty. I know you helped Jesus out and he wanted some water. You helped some water for him. And then when you was hanging on that thing, some guy put you some water in your mouth. And I need some water. I can't breathe. I'm so hurting for 3 days without any water. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So what happened then? looked out there, and there's some kind of noise happening around and everything. I couldn't find nothing. Like, you can't see nothing, you know, from the sea.
Right.
About from
You
here
had
to
much of
yonder.
a vantage point there.
Yeah, so I hear some whole bunch of flopping and flopping, and I glanced around there, and it looked like I saw one ship, fish jumping up in the air, and I said, oh. So they came over there, and boy, I mean, every one of them was picking. And every time one of them would pick that thing off of my arm, that salt water hit that thing, and I mean, I was screaming, my eyes was watering, and my ears, my eyes was bloody and everything, because I couldn't even see them. And then, so finally I could get one of my eyes cleaned out a little bit, and I looked over there, and there's a little old fish. It looked like it was standing on his tail looking at me, and I was mad, and I grabbed him, and I did like that. I said, I bit his head off, and guess what? It was water.
Wow.
Huh? So I grabbed another one. Did that same thing. Did another one. Got that same thing. So finally I got to feeling real good.
It's kind of like God sending manna.
Well, God gave me that.
Yeah. How amazing.
Way to, I prove it. God helped me. I don't know how in the world could I do it.
So, how long was it after you prayed that this happened?
The whole time. I prayed the whole time.
Yeah.
Every minute that I hit
Well, I know you said God help me, but then you said that you asked.
Yeah, one time, because I was getting thirsty. Yeah, that's when I told him.
And so, after you prayed that particular prayer, how long was it before the fish showed up?
Oh, next half of a day.
Oh, it was okay.
I don't know time.
Right, you didn't have a watch.
Yeah, it might have been right away, but it might have been half a day or something. Anyhow.
Wow.
But anyhow, I was so happy. I didn't know I could even know I could open my mouth that far. It just seemed.
So how big were those fish?
Huh?
How big were those fish?
None of them was longer than that. Looked like a perch.
Some kind of saltwater.
They're a little flat, and it wasn't very big. The head was a pretty good size.
So well, you're here. So how did you end up getting rescued? What happened?
Well, I just got feeling good and everything, still just floating around. And all of a sudden, I felt something touching me on the back. And I said, what is that? And I turned around, couldn't turn around. Come to find out it was some guy in that water trying to help me.
Really?
Yeah. And he hollered at me and something, grunted at me or something, and I said, oh, somebody's trying to help me. So it wasn't long till there was another guy, and one guy had my arm and the other had the other arm, and they swam. And there was a ship there, and then a rope ladder. And I could see that much then. My eyes are getting pretty brightened in, you know. And I said, I don't know whether I could climb that. And they said, well, we'll find out. So they hollered at somebody and said, he can't climb.
Right.
So there was some guy holding, some man up there was holding his legs and holding his head down there, and his hands came down and grabbed me and pulled me up.
So I think you told me that was one of Roosevelt's sons who was.
Yeah, Jerry Roosevelt, the captain of that ship. Yeah, it's in here, the paperwork.
And didn't you say that they were actually just looking for paper that was floating?
Yes. Yeah, it was after the papers and stuff that was floating around there. They didn't realize, they didn't expect to see me. They was really surprised. They didn't know what to do with me at that time because they expected all of that stuff to have been done before. And
Yeah, they
because
figured everybody
they
was
didn't
already
want the
rescued.
Japanese to have some paperwork or anything that they could help find out what was that bunch of ships there going to do? What was they going to do?
Yeah, right.
That's what he's told me.
So you told me, how much weight did you lose while you were
Huh?
at sea? How much weight did you lose?
Well, I weighed 118 pounds. When they pulled me out of there, I weighed 96 pounds. That was, well, I went on that ship with Jerry Roosevelt for several weeks. I don't know how long it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then no way of telling time, no way of doing anything like that. Been days.